recording. Yes. We are reading Bhagwat Geeta as it is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are in chapter 2, text, I think it was text 3. Yes, text 3. Okay. O son of Pratha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Okay, I think we did. I think we read text 3. Let's move to text 4. Okay. Arjun said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? Let's read the purport. Respectable superiors like Bhishma, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teacher, are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not be counterattacked. It is general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight. So this is in the time when it is a like an ancient time where we cannot even speak against or even in front of our superior people, our gurus, our parents, because we would take whatever they know, whatever they tell, it will be right for me. So we are in complete surrender to them. So Arjun is questioning, how can I do this? Even if he yells at me, even if he fights with me, how can I fight back? How can I yell back? Then how is it possible for, even if they are sometimes harsh in behavior, they should not be harshly treated. Then how is it possible for Arjun to counterattack them? Would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather, Ugrasena, or his teacher, Sandipani Muni? These were some of the arguments offered by Arjun to Krishna. Let's move to text 5. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Yes, very valid point. Let's read the purport. According to scriptural codes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhan. It was an obligation to take the side and not the willingness. Okay? Mark the words. Because of his financial assistance. Although they should not have accepted such a position simply on financial considerations. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers. But Arjun thinks that, nevertheless, they remain his superiors, and therefore, to enjoy material profits after killing them would mean to enjoy spoils tainted with blood. Yes. So he's feeling really, really unhappy. Of course, he's unhappy that his superiors, जिनको वो इतना रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं, इतना उनको मानते हैं, वो ही उनके अगेंस्ट है. और उन्होंने कभी राइट क्या है रॉन्ग क्या है वो नहीं सोचा. जस्ट बिकॉज दुर्योधन इज फाइनेंसिंग देम, with money, with wealth, with place, they are taking, they are fighting on through Duryodhan. They are taking Duryodhan's side, but still they are superiors. So why should I do this? Let's move to text 6. nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. Yes, Arjun is now confused. अभी जब respect चली गई है, जब अभी when you have a teacher who doesn't know what is right, what is wrong anymore, would you continue to respect them? What is the meaning of respect? Respect means when somebody tells you to do and you do it for them, for their sake, is respect. जैसे मेरे टीचर ने मुझे कहा ये आज पढ़ना है, तो और मैं पढ़ रही हूँ, that is paying respects. When your parents tell you something to do and you do it, that is respect. And when you don't do it, that is disrespect. Similarly, when our mind tells us कि okay, आज मुझे 4 लीटर पानी पीना है, आज हम लोग पिएंगे, and when you don't drink that water, you are disrespecting your own self. Yes. So अब रिस्पेक्ट चली गई है, फिर भी मैं उनको फाइट कैसे करूं? Fight is at like another level, like I'm going to kill them, you know. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Let's read the purport. Arjun did not know whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is the duty of the Kshatriyas, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Yes, if he loses the battle, they will come on the roads. They will not have any money to survive. So they'll have to beg for survival. Nor was there certainty of victory because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them and their cause was justified, still, if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Yes, living without your own family kinsmen is also difficult. You're living in solitude, living in loneliness. In our world, we always say that family chahiye. And there is a set of people who don't want family, who want to live like nomads, right? So considering that, under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjun definitely proved that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in the royal household, is another sign of detachment. Yes, he is okay to even beg. He didn't have that ego that अरे मैं तो king हूँ, मैं थोड़ी भीख मांग के जीऊंगा. So he was not getting affected by richness or poorness. He was getting affected by the karma, the deed, the action that he's going to take, and the effect that it's going to have on his mind, on his mindset, the guilt that he's going to go through. He didn't want it. So he was truly virtuous, as these qualities, combined with his faith in the words of instructions of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate. It is concluded that Arjun was quite fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Yes, Arjun was competent in all these attributes, over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationships. Yes. Let's move to text 7. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you means Krishna, to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Yes, beautiful. Let's read the purport. By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. Yes. So we are always perplexed, confused कि मुझे करना क्या है, मुझे करना क्या चाहिए. When you are given two ways of doing things, which is the right way, how are you going to choose? What is the basis of choosing the correct path? In every step, there is perplexity, and therefore, it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. Yes, that's why we turn to our teachers, our mentors to guide us. Yes, all Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master who get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. Yes. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Yes. Confusion kabhi bhi aa jata hai. It's not something that we create a confusion, right? Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. Yes, no one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. What to do? Yeah. The Vedic wisdom, therefore, advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. Yes. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. Yes, and that's why the Arjun is turning to Krishna because Krishna is his spiritual master. Yes. In these days we have only material masters. So we are now turning to Bhagwat Gita to understand how we can spiritually grow, how our soul also can grow, not just the body. So we are learning that spirituality and having a spiritual master is of a boon. Yes. Who is the man in material perplexities? Question. It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 3.8.10, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yova etad eksharam gargi aviditva smal lokat praiti sa krapana. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self realization. Yes, this human form of quotes close. This human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity. Yes, we are in human form of life and we must value it. Why? Because only humans are able to understand and attain spirituality. Cats and dogs cannot do so. They don't have that awareness. They are not granted that awareness. This human form of life is the most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is a Brahman or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all problems of life. Ya etad aksharam gargi viditva smal lokat praiti sa brahmana. The kripanas or miserly people waste their time in being overly affectionate. Now this may conflict, but there is a lot of time wasted in in things that we consider that we are not wasting our time in. Okay, let's read that. Or miserly people waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc., in the material conception of life. Yes. One is often attached to family life, namely a wife, children, and other members on the basis of skin disease. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Yes, such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjun could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Now you understand. Yeah. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still on account of miserly weakness, kripanas, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna. सो एक माइंड ब्लॉक हो गया कि ये तो मेरी फैमिली है, इसको तो मुझे बचाना होता है, इसको मैं मारूं कैसे? देयर इज सच अ बिग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट देयर, राइट? So he was not able to take action. And with things which affect you to not take action are the things that you have to surrender to your God, whichever God that you pray. Yes, remember that. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. Yes, this is what Arjun does. And then he succeeds. Yes, he wants to stop friendly talks. Yes, now the roles are changing. He wants to change the role now. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious, and now Arjun wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagwat Geeta, and Arjun is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjun understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna's within and without. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. So we are trying to tell that Bhagavad Gita is something which is spoken by Lord Krishna to Arjun. So don't look out for somebody else who is Krishna. Krishna is there in person. So accept that form of Krishna. Don't think that Krishna is someone who is within, who is talking within. Yes, he is within as well as he is in front of you. So if you can understand this duality, then you have actually understood the purpose of life. Yes? Let's move to text 8. So now Arjun wants him to turn the role from friendship to a spiritual master and guide him. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. Now he is very, very, tensed. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Let's read the purport. Although Arjun was putting forward so many arguments, yes, we are reading so many excuses he's giving to not fight. Based on knowledge of the principles of religion, moral codes, it appears that he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of the spiritual master Lord Krishna. He could understand that his so called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems, which were drying up his whole existence, and it was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Lord Krishna. Even Arjun, who is so learned, who is so spiritually advanced person, who is so strong, who can fight, who is actually more or less a king, is still asking for help. He's not keeping that ego. He's understood that this is not going to help me grow. Whatever knowledge I have is not helping me to grow. I need to get more knowledge. I need more guidance. And he's asking for help. So we learn that asking for help is only for your own good. It's not something that you are killing your self esteem and all that. I will not ask for help. I know everything. Just don't be in this energy at all. Always be in the energy of learning. Always be the energy of asking for help if you need one. If your problems are not getting solved, ask for help. Don't wait. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc. are all useless in solving the problems of life. I'll read this again. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc. are all useless in solving the problems of life. Help can be given only by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is the bona fide spiritual master, for he can solve the problems of life. Lord Chaitanya said that one who is a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, is a real spiritual master. In quotes, we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya 8.128. It does not matter whether a person is a Vipra, that is learned scholar in Vedic wisdom. मतलब ये पंडित वंडित भी जो लर्नेड होते हैं, वैदिक विजडम जिसको सब पता है, सारी नॉलेज पता है, आपने सारे स्पिरिचुअल बुक्स भी पढ़ लिए, सेल्फ हेल्प बुक भी पढ़ लिए, चलो, और इज born in a lower family or is in the renounced order of life, if he is a master in the science of Krishna, he is the perfect and bona fide spiritual master. कोई भेद नहीं है अगर he knows the science of Krishna and he can deliver that to people. So, without being a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, without being a master, not a student, a master, without being a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, no one is a bona fide spiritual master. It is also said in the Vedic literature. We are reading from Padma Puran. A scholarly Brahman, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnav or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is Vaishnav or Krishna conscious. Yes. The problems of material existence, that is birth, old age, disease, and death. Yes, these are the four stages of life. Cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. This is such a powerful sentence. I'll read it again. The problems of material existence, birth. Birth is itself a problem. हमने यहाँ पे जन्म इसीलिए लिया है ताकि हम struggle करें. Our life is not supposed to be chill. Okay. So we have taken birth to struggle. Our intention to take the birth was to face the struggles of our own mind, our own souls, and conquer them. Yes. So problems, birth, old age, disease, and death. These are the four problems of material existence. Cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth or economic development. Yes. In many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth and economically developed. Yet, the problems of material existence are still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or Bhagwat Geeta and Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitutes the science of Krishna through the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. Yes. If economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentations for family, social, national, or international inebrities, then Arjun would not have said that even an unrivaled kingdom on earth or supremacy like that of demigods in the heavenly planets would be unable to drive away these lamentations. So lamentations is basically, kosna, matlab just regretting, यार मेरे साथ क्या हो गया, या if your father died or your mother died, you are just crying, oh my father, my mother, oh how will I live, how will I, this is lamentation. Okay, you're crying for something which is not yours. He sought, therefore, refuge in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. You'll never be in peace if you continue to lament on things which does not belong to you, which you don't have control on, and which are bound to happen. Yes? And whatever theories you have created that with by earning 1 crore rupee or by accumulating so much economic status, I am free. No, we will not achieve peace unless we are spiritually inclined. Yes? Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the catalysm of material nature. Yes, कभी भी कुछ भी आ सकता है, अर्थक्वेक आ गया, आपका घर खराब हो गया, आपका बिजनेस बंद हो गया, कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है, एंड यू कैन नॉट रिलाई दैट ये रहेगा मेरे साथ फुल लाइफ तक. करेक्ट. Even this body is not the same the entire life. It keeps changing. It keeps giving you surprises, right? Even elevation into a higher planetary situation, like Brahmalok, if you are able to reach Brahmalok, let's say, as men are now seeking on the moon planet, can also be finished at one stroke. Yes. The Bhagwat Geeta confirms this. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. When the results of pious activities are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. Such downfalls only constitute more causes of lamentation. Yes. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna as Arjun is seeking to do. So Arjun asked Krishna to solve his problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness. Yes. Let's read this text 9 and then we will close. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjun, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Let's read the purport. Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjun was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjay disappointed him again in relating that Arjun was competent to kill his enemies, Parantapaha. Although Arjun was, for the time being, overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self realization or Krishna consciousness and would then surely fight. Thus, Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjun would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. Yes. Let's end here with Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let's do some Radha Jap. Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha.